Good morning, first grade. Today is Monday, April 27, and this is your math class, lesson 9.9, practicing time to the hour and the half hour. I know you're pros at this. We're going to get through this quickly today because I know you're so good. We have a test coming up later this week, so be sure to be practicing your time to the hour and half hour, and I know you're going to do great on your test. Let's put our name at the top first thing. And let's do our date. It's the 27th. There we go. Let's read it together. Practice time to the hour and half hour. Essential question. How do you know whether to draw and write time to the hour or half hour? Circle the clock that matches the problem. So let's look at these first two clocks here at the box, okay? Listen to my story. Barbara goes to the store at 8 o'clock. Circle the clock that shows 8 o'clock. That's right, 8 o'clock. Let's circle this clock. Now come to the bottom story. Looking at these three clocks, listen to my story. Barbara takes Ria for a walk at 1:30. Circle the clock that shows 1:30. So 1:30 means 1:30. So I'm looking for an hour hand between 1 and 2. There it is, right between halfway. And that minute hand that goes down to the 6, because the 6 represents, I can't write, 30, doesn't it? So this looks like 1:30. So I know it's this clock. Very good. Let's open up our paper to page 402. 402. Let's read the model and draw box. Where should you draw the minute hand to show the time? If my time here, trace it with me, is 9 o'clock, where does my minute hand go? Straight up, doesn't it? Yep. Go ahead and make that minute hand 9 o'clock. Let's move on to our next clock. The digital clock says 9:30. So my hour hand is halfway between 9 and 10. Where does my minute hand go for 30? That's right, straight down to the 6, doesn't it? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Good, 9:30. All right, it says, use the hour hand to write the time. Draw the minute hand. So they're giving us the hour hand. They want us to draw the minute hand. Now, here is where you want to pay special attention to whether that hour hand is directly on the number for o'clock or if it's between two numbers. Let's do number 1 and 2 together. Number 1, I'm looking and it is directly on the 4, so I know it's 4, draw the minute hand, o'clock. 4 o'clock. Coming to number 2, it's in between the 11 and the 12, so I would say 11 what? 30, good, it's in between. And that minute hand now is going to have to point down to the 6, isn't it? Now let's try number 3. It's in between the 6 and the 7, so I would say 6:30. The minute hand goes directly down, doesn't it? Let's try number 4. It is directly on the 7 this time, so I would say 7 o'clock. I know where that one goes. Number 5, it's directly on the 2. I say 2 o'clock. Don't forget to draw that minute hand straight up. Number 6, between the 3 and the 4, I'd say 3:30. Draw that minute hand directly down. Okay? All right, let's move on to page 403. This is on your own. I want you to do 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 on your own. I'm going to do it also, and then we'll check our work. So I'm going to give you a nice little view of my window today with all my beautiful plants while I do the work also. So go ahead. I'm going to be doing it too, and then we'll check it on your own. All right, let's see how your answers compare to teachers. Number 1, I have 10 o'clock. Number 8, 12:30. Number 9, 5 o'clock. Number 10, 10:30. Number 11, 12 o'clock. Number 12, 5:30. Did you get those correct? All right, let's move on to number 13. I love this story. The name in the story is Zoe. It's not spelled like Zoe Gaslin spells hers. It's Z-O-E-Y, but we still say it the same. Let's read it together. Explain. What is the error or what's wrong? Zoe tried to show 6 o'clock. Explain how to change the clock to show 6 o'clock. So this clock is wrong. This clock is supposed to say 6 o'clock. Why doesn't it say 6 o'clock? This clock says 12:30. What's mixed up? The hands are mixed up, correct? Yes, we're pointing to the right numbers, but this hour hand should be pointing to the 6. The minute hand should be pointing to the 12, so they're mixed up, aren't they? Yes. So explain how to change the clock. I would say switch the hands. Let's say that together. S, w, I, t, ch. Switch the hands. So the hands are pointing in the right places, but they're mixed up, aren't they? Switch the hands. All right. Let's come to the end of our lesson. Read it with me, friends. Number 14. Vince looks at the clock on the wall. It shows 4 o'clock. He goes to a baseball game 30 minutes later. Draw to show what time Vince goes to a baseball game. So 4 o'clock and then 30 minutes later would be 4:30. So I need to make 4:30 on the clock. So that means my hour hand's going to be between the 4 and the 5, right in between. And my minute hand's going to be all the way to the 30, right? The 6 is that 30-minute mark. Like that. 4:30. Good. Let's move on to number 15. Missy watched a game for an hour. Write how many minutes Missy watched a game. How many minutes are in an hour? Let's count around. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. How many minutes? There are 60 minutes in an hour. You may do Hot Problem on your own if you would like a special challenge. After we're done, let's move on to number 17, test prep. Which clock shows 11:30? Well, since it's half past, I know I'm going to be looking for an hour hand that's between 11 and 12. Between 11 and 12, 11, oh, there we go. This one is between 11 and 12. And there's that 30, there's 11:30. This one was kind of tricky because it says 10:30. This one was between the 10 and the 11. This one was between the 11 and the 12, so very close these two were. And if you were going really quickly in a test, you could get mixed up. Be sure that if it says 11:30, it has to be between the 11 and the 12. It's half past 11. All right, good job, friends. Have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.